turning insurance estimating on or off changes how MacPractice will split the balance between insurance and patient portions. With insurance estimating off, when an insurance claim is created, the entire amount of the charge will be in the insurance portion, as you see down here at the bottom of the screen. Once insurance has paid, or the claim has been closed, the entire remaining balance will move over into the patient portion. By contrast, with insurance estimating on, the charge will be split between the two. MacPractice will provide an estimated amount of what the insurance company might pay towards a charge based on that patient's specific insurance plan and coverage. There are 5 steps to set up insurance estimating, and we'll go quickly through them now. For those of you who like to take notes, the 5 steps are listed right here. Don't worry too much about it right now. I will bring this sticky note back up to the front of the screen at the end of today's class so you can jot these down. These are the basic steps. So at the end of the class, I'll bring this back up and you can feel free to take a screenshot or jot them down as we go, or wait until the end. As you can see, the very first thing here, we need to create procedure types. Now, this is done in the References ability of MacPractice. In the Procedure Types node or folder. Hit the green plus button at the top of the sidebar to create a new record. Type in the procedure type that you want to add, and then hit Command S to save. As you can see, we've already added quite a few different procedure types here. Dental offices should know that in MacPractice DDS, there will be a couple of additional checkboxes for you underneath this description area, where you can select whether the procedure is dental or orthodontic. What you see over here in the sidebar are some typical procedure types, some for dental, some for medical. The majority of insurance companies follow a certain layout for what these types are. Different codes, whether they be ADA codes or CPT codes, will fall under a certain type that is recognized by most insurance companies. It's still possible that some plans may vary and include additional types. After you have created all of the different types of procedures, such as basic or major or preventative or diagnostic or restorative, once all of those are created in the system, you must then assign a procedure type to every code in your fee schedule. So we need to know for each code in the fee schedule what procedure type it is associated to. Remember, your fee schedule is also located in the References ability. To manually add these, you can go ahead and open up that fee schedule node and go to the particular fee schedule that you normally use. You can click on one of your codes here in the secondary sidebar and set the procedure type right here. Because oftentimes procedure codes are in numerical order will have the same type, there is a database utility that you can run on the server computer to update your procedure types in bulk. Database utilities are in the Manager's ability of MacPractice under the Database Utilities node. The utility is called Update Procedure Type by Code. As with all database utilities, a recent backup is recommended beforehand, and everyone should be logged out of MacPractice before running any utility. To run this utility, I'll update all of my procedures, a certain number of my procedures to restorative. This information that I'm currently typing in is incorrect, but just being used as an example to show you what this would look like. All codes belonging to a certain type, the range will be entered here, and the type set up here in the drop-down menu. Make sure you select your appropriate fee schedule as well, and then hit Go at the bottom of your screen to run the utility. So rather than going into your fee schedule and associating a type to each and every single fee, we can change those fees in a range or in bulk here in this utility. After you have associated all of your fees to a procedure type, the third thing you'll want to work on is setting up insurance plans when adding the patient's insurance. Insurance records can be accessed from the patient's ability in the primary tab simply by double-clicking on the insurance company, or just when you click on the green plus to initially add the insurance company. When I click on the Plan tab for this Aetna insurance company, if I don't see the particular plan that I need, I can hit the Unlock icon down at the bottom left, unlock the record, and then hit the green plus button to add a new plan. Plans can also be selected from the drop-down menu here. If you're working on adding new plans in bulk to all of your insurance companies and you're not working particularly with one specific patient right now, you can also do that from your references ability again. If we go to the insurance company's node, this is going to look exactly the same as we saw in the patient's ability, starting with the company info tab all the way through the plans tab. So these are all the plans that I have for Aetna. To add a new one, I'll simply click the green plus button, and I can click in this field again to name the plan. Plans can be named, I've seen typically named for the employer or the plan name. I've also seen some offices use the PO box as the name for this, whichever way is easiest for you. Once we've named the plan, we will want to work our way through the tabs here, the sub-tabs under the Plans tab. First of all, under Coverage, we'll want to go through and make sure that the appropriate annual coverage is selected and the annual deductible, as well as the start date and renewal date and expire date if that's applicable. Most insurance companies will be set to commercial, but there are a few other types here, such as Medicaid and CHAMPAs. As you can see down below here in the last part of this coverage window, we have all of our different procedure types. So for this particular plan, we need to set up and tell MacPractice what percentage of this procedure type insurance will pay. So if this Aetna plan pays for 20% of anesthesia procedures, I'll go ahead and type in 20 in this box, and it will auto-fill in the rest. So this means that insurance will cover 20%, the patient is responsible for the remaining 80%. And if it applies to the deductible, we'll go ahead and check that box here. Next, we have the demographic tab. You can enter in the address here of the plan if it differs from what is in the generic company info tab here. Next, we have the Participate tab. we can select whether or not individual providers in the practice participate with this plan. There's a notes area, which is basically just like a Word document where you can jot down some notes about this plan. And then we have the Procedures tab. And here is where you can add in this insurance company's fee schedule per se, or what they allow you to charge, all of their allowed amounts. These can be entered individually by clicking the green plus button and just adding the codes, or they can be copied over from a fee schedule or from another plan. Please keep in mind that if you want to copy over allowed amounts from or to another plan, make sure that what you currently have in here is deleted first. That way you can avoid creating any duplicates. If there is a procedure-specific copay, you can enter that here, and there's also a column for flat rate, if that is the way in which this is calculated. Once this setup is done for your plans, now you're ready to turn on insurance estimating. That is going to be step 4. In your MacPractice menu at the top, go to Preferences, and under the Insurance title here, we will go ahead and check the box to use insurance estimating, and we'll also want to assume 100% coverage for patients who do not have a plan, and assume 100% when there's no procedure type. Typically, if we're using the system correctly, this should never be the case, but just in case, most offices do prefer to have that portion in insurance rather than all inpatient. The last step that we'll want to make sure we do is add the insurance and set the plan in the patient's primary or secondary tab, wherever that insurance is located. So as we are adding insurance to our patient accounts, we do want to make sure that that patient has a plan selected. This is how insurance estimating will work. Once these 5 steps are complete, insurance estimating is set up and active. When you enter in a code, from the very beginning, it will split the amount into how much insurance needs to pay and how much is patient responsible, allowing you to charge your patient up front. So to recap, with insurance estimating off, the entire amount of a charge will always be either out to insurance or entirely patient responsibility. With insurance estimating on, MacPractice will split the charge amount between insurance and patient portions, estimating how much insurance is likely to pay in advance. Having insurance estimating off is very simple. It requires no additional setup, and it is ideal for offices who do not need to ever give the patient a statement until after all insurance payments. Having insurance estimating on requires a lot of additional setup in the beginning, but you may choose this way for your office if you and your patients would like an idea of what a specific carrier will pay right away at the time the charge is entered, and if you want to accurately collect payment from your patient up front. I know that this is a lot of material to have gone through in a mini class. This is one of our more advanced classes, so if you're not magically an expert on insurance estimating right now, that is okay. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions at this time. But also, after the mini class is over, if there was something that we went over today that you need to review or that needs more clarification, or if you find that you need some additional help setting this up in your office, please don't hesitate to pop the bubble or call our support line, or let me know and I can put in a ticket on your behalf. Our reps are highly trained in this process and they would love to help. So I am now switching all of your microphones on. You can go ahead and ask your questions out loud, or you can feel free to continue to chat them to me using the questions section of the GoToWebinar control panel.